Come closer to me. I won't bite you. All right. We are live. Look at that. We're live.
Oh, yeah.
We're very washed out, but we are definitely live.
And I can hear the audio.
You can?
Yeah.
Is it delayed?
A little bit.
Okay. Look at it. She's all like Miss Producer. She's got her headset in. And hi, everybody. Hi. Sorry, hon. You need to talk into that. I got this right here. And yeah, Gavin is over at a friend's house. So I guess I can stop staring at me and start looking at you in the camera. Sorry, guys. We're running just a little bit behind over here. Slow mode is off.
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Hey, everyone. If you have not met us, this is Cliff.
I'm Cliff.
He's the one with multiple sclerosis. I'm the one not with multiple sclerosis. I'm his wife, Andrea, and we're excited to recap our 2025 with you guys, as well as talk about what 2026 is going to look like.
Yes. And 2025 was absolutely crazy. I know you have some stuff you want to go over here, and she's got a heart monitor. Look, everybody.
Nobody needs to be pointing out.
I like the heart monitor. Makes you look like a... Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, go ahead.
So I want to start off with something kind of interesting because we have been playing a lot of family games over the holidays, and we got Cards Against Humanity, the family edition. And I noticed Cliff having some reading and memory issues with it. And and just like going through different types of games, it was really enlightening. So I want to do a little icebreaker test for you, which is I want you to read this prompt from Cards Against Humanity, okay? And try and remember it.
Got it. Okay.
So you read it out loud, and then you're gonna remember this, and then I'm gonna have you do something else, and we're gonna come back to it.
All right. Next, from J.K. Rowling, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Blank.
Okay.
See that?
Okay.
Okay, there we go.
All right, so that's the thing you have to remember.
Okay.
Okay.
Got it.
Okay, now another interesting thing, and I think that this illustrates how different multiple sclerosis is for different people, is this, which is a really fun little popper game where you're supposed to get the ball onto the little thing here.
Wah, wah.
But here's the thing, Cliff is actually really good at this, and he figured out how to get it done much better than anybody else in our household. So you want to show?
Yeah.
Okay.
This because if you don't watch the camera's up there. If you don't watch the channel, I do a lot of engineering stuff to explain multiple sclerosis. I'm an engineer and stuff. And when everybody was struggling with this, I broke it down to the engineering basics to figure out how it will work. And then I probably won't be able to repeat it, so I'm going to look like a total jerk. But
you got to stand up to do it.
Yeah, I'm going to have to stand up to do it. And this is the part where I'm happy I put pants on for this live stream. Or maybe you're happy. I don't know. But anyway, here we go.
Okay.
Are you guys ready?
Yes.
3, 2. I don't know if I can do it with all the microphones in the way. Oh, so close.
Keep going.
Oh, almost got it. Got to stabilize it.
Okay. Keep going.
Oh, almost.
Remember, you locked in your arm. Oh, you're so close. Yeah.
So
you got to unwind it.
Maybe you need to turn that down so it doesn't echo on your mics. Okay, here we go. Oh, crap. Okay, I'm going to do one more time. If I don't get it, I don't get it.
Okay.
And we'll move on.
But I will say...
one more time.
Okay, one more time. This is like... Oh,
you're so close. Okay, I got this. I'm very jittery this morning.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Darn it. I can do this. I know.
I saw him do it like 5 times in a row. Oh, you're so close.
Okay, I count that as a win. I'm just super jittery.
Yeah, okay. Your baseline today isn't as stable as it was that day that we were doing that.
Yes, I didn't sleep last night at all.
Okay, we should have started with that.
Yes. I'm running on caffeine, maybe a little bit of Adderall. Yeah. It's making me a little bit shaky. Yeah. But anyway, the object is to limit the amount of motion the ball gets. And by putting your elbow into your side, you eliminate one of those variables. And I'd say the other night, I was pretty much like 95% of the time I was landing it. I even got it on the spike on the end. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Today, not happening. I'm just too jittery.
So these are the fun things that we've been doing. But I thought that this was an interesting illustration between dexterity and mental clarity. because you were able to nail this, which is hard for a lot of people that struggle with multiple sclerosis because they have more symptoms in their dexterity than maybe you do, right? And so it's like this like spectrum where it's hard to be like, oh, that guy can do that thing, but we have the same disease, that sort of thing.
Yes.
But here's the catch. The catch is, hold on. Do you remember what this card says?
She thought she was going to trip me up. I'm going to tell you right now, it has something to do with J.K. Rowling.
Yes.
I cannot remember what it said. Something okay. J.K. Rowling blank. That's the only thing I'm seeing in my mind right now.
Okay, well, at least you got like the general topic.
Yeah.
That's good. It was probably because it's such a big name.
Yeah.
But like next from J.K. Rowling, Harry Potter in the Chamber of
blank.
Right. Yeah. So
Chamber of Danger. I don't know. I don't watch Harry Potter. What is it? Chamber of Secrets?
No, that's the thing.
I know.
Yeah. There's so many. I don't know. Ask my mom. She knows all the Harry Potter things.
Okay. Angie, comment below if you remember the Chamber of blank. The Chamber of blank.
But the point is to, make a funny insert into that. Anyway, I'm trying to prove the point that like your mental clarity might be on the lower scale compared to your dexterity, and how that can feel a little weird from day to day, but also like from people on the outside looking in, right? Because like you don't look sick,
but I look fine. We look kind of sick on this web camera. This web camera is very washed out.
Yeah,
but
it is. You
anyway,
do look sick on this webcam.
We all look sick on this webcam. We couldn't get the good one working, but we will fix it in the future.
We will, as long as the audio is okay. I think we're good.
That's the big thing.
So
chat in the chat next to us. Let us know if the audio is good. I know there's a couple people in here watching, so if you could just maybe it's just us watching.
It probably is.
Well, then it sounds good to me.
Sounds good to me too. I really, I wanted to start with going over just kind of how 25 went. I mean, we went in hard on the channel. A lot of stuff has happened, and I wanted to talk about that.
Okay. This is going to be great because we have unique perspectives on 2025. I'm speaking individually and also as a married couple of almost 20 years. And boy, it has been an adventure in 2025. Things have happened that we didn't anticipate, as happens to everybody. I switched medications. You let me know when you want me to summarize it, or if you want to do that.
No, I mean, okay, so I broke it down into a few topics. Hold on. Let me the computer setup is not ideal right now, but a few topics. So
she loves her organization.
The community outreach, that we've done. So all of the events that we've gone to for that. But also like we went to the fire station and we talked to the fire department and about how MS is kind of like they experience MS type symptoms on a daily basis.
Yes.
That was a fun one.
We made an episode about that.
Yeah.
That was super cool. And they let me put on the super heavy, hot firefighting gear. And the idea was that we wanted to see if there were community members out there that knew what it was like to be fatigued with MS due to heat and other environmental circumstances. And the firefighters jumped right on the wagon. And they were like, yeah, come on in. We'll walk you around. We'll let you put on this stuff. Their gear was almost 100 pounds.
Yeah, it was horrible.
And I
hated it.
Hot that day.
Yeah, it was the summertime, I think.
Yeah. And so we did that whole thing. It was really neat. The firefighters were awesome. And the video was viewed a bunch of times. And I asked them if, when they're fighting a fire, do they pee in their suit? Because when I'm out surfing, sometimes I'll pee in my suit. I admit it. I don't.
You pee in your suit regardless.
I pee in my suit. Yeah, thanks to MS. I don't have any choice on that one. And they said, no, they don't pee in their stuff because it's too hard to wash.
So funny. Yeah. He's like, why are you asking me this, you weirdo? And I'm like, oh my gosh.
Because it's a question people with MS have, right? You just never know when you got to go. And that is always an issue. I can't imagine being a firefighter with this situation.
You couldn't be. No. There's no way you could be a firefighter with MS.
But I bet you there's somebody out there that is.
Okay. If there's anybody out there who's a firefighter, with multiple sclerosis, we want to meet you.
We want to hear from you. We want to know your story. So you can contact us through the channel. And we're also on Instagram at NeuroCliff. So anyway,
yeah,
let's move on.
So it wasn't just that. It was also reaching out to other people affected by multiple sclerosis. You know, you had quite a few interviews with people with multiple sclerosis who are doing different things. And that was really fun. You also talked to a lot of experts.
Yes. Can I give a shout out real quick?
Yeah.
So thank you to Kevin, an aspiring actor in Los Angeles who was diagnosed with MS. He's a young guy. He's just still trying to find his way. I still got to catch up with him. We talked a couple of weeks ago. We need to catch up again. He was a great interview. Then we talked to Dr. Breer, can't remember at the moment, but thank you. That was a great episode about the mental struggles with MS and some of the other things. And then Matt, who was a veteran and was diagnosed while he was in the Marines or the Army. I can't remember because my memory sucks, but he had a great story too. And then, of course, Dr. Boster, which most of you know here on YouTube, who has been, for lack of a better term, we've been collaborating on some stuff. I run some ideas by him and goes, this is something I should talk about or not, because maybe I'm way out of my scope here. And he gives me a lot of great feedback. So thank you, Dr. Boster, for that. He's Aaron Boster, I believe Aaron Boster, MD on YouTube, from the Boster Center in, I believe in somewhere in Ohio.
It's Ohio.
God, my memory's so bad.
That's okay. It's okay.
But he's fantastic. But we've had some great people this year on the show talk about their journey, their expertise. And I really want to continue that in 2026.
Yes.
I'm really interested in the patient stories. I mean, I love the research. I love the science, but I really love the people living with MS because everybody has a unique story and how they're dealing with this.
It's very unique. And like how their families are dealing with it, how it affects the whole community, that sort of thing. And the reason why I started out with this category, like the community outreach thing, is because this is probably the first year that like we really reached out into the community, not just the multiple sclerosis community, right? Which is a very awesome, tight-knit community, but we reached out into the general broader community to sort of help them help us kind of understand multiple sclerosis and raise awareness. And so that was such a cool thing to do. And I really want to take that into 2026 too.
Yeah. And speaking to that, thank you for everybody that's left comments on the channel along the way. I have learned so much from the people out there in the community that talk about, you know, they've been living with MS for 30 years or they've been living with MS for 30 days, and everybody has a unique story. And they all have these little tips and tricks on how they're dealing.
Yep.
And that's where I think I wasn't expecting that with the channel. I thought it would be more one-to-many conversation. What it ended up being was many-to-many, because one person leaves a comment and then a bunch of other people jump on there.
Yeah.
And on a final note, before I forget it, we did have one sort of troll for the year, which I didn't tell you about yet because I haven't time, but maybe it wasn't. They called me Dr. Google, but I don't think they understood that I was somebody living with MS, and they said you shouldn't be giving, you know, advice on blah blah blah. I clearly wasn't doing that in the video, but what was interesting is it was kind of about the MS hug and my experience with the MS hug and the diagnosis rates of MS, and basically the community responded back to that person and kind of gave it context.
Yeah,
I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, I think that I know what video you're talking about. I saw that comment, and it's just like the video was spliced out of a bigger picture video, and I could see why somebody would accidentally stumble across that video and think like this guy is just giving out weird things about back pain. He had no idea, or she had no idea, that you had MS. Like there was no context in that video, right? So like if you weren't a subscriber, you'd be like, what is this random dude talking about back spasms and like all kinds of things, like he's the authority in this? But I mean, whatever, that's fine.
Yeah,
that's totally fine.
Yep. Okay, onward.
Yeah, so hold on one second. I want to talk about the major thing that a lot of people watched, which was the switch from Kesimpta to nothing, having a period in time in which we were in denial about you needing to be on medicine. And then from that period of denial into Mavenclad.
Okay.
I think that's like those series probably have the most interest on them because I think it's a very universal struggle.
Yes, because when you're initially getting diagnosed, and I think this is from what I understand now from the community, it's kind of a similar path, right? Like we have the McDonald criteria that helps you get diagnosed, but then you're going on this independent journey with your neurologist. And I would say from the people that I spoke with, the average experience, the most common experience would be you go in, they look at what your problems are, how serious your MS is, what the risk factors are, and then do a couple of tests on you and see what disease modifying therapies will work for you, and then give you 2 weeks to decide, and then just throw a bunch of pamphlets at you and go, here you go. And
Yeah.
then everybody spazzes out, and rightfully so, and then gets on Reddit and goes, oh my gosh, I am like freaking out. Like, which direction do I go with this? And it is a very individualized choice. But to give everybody context, I started on Ocrevus in 2019. And the crap gap, which is this gap where the medication just kind of seems to just tank me physically, was really bad and very consistent.
So bad.
Yeah. And so I told my doctor, we need to do something different. And so Kesimpta, which was an injectable once a month, was just coming out. And COVID had just broken out. And so we kind of didn't do anything for about a year. And I felt pretty darn good because I didn't have any of the stuff in me, but we knew I was headed towards a brick wall. So we had to do something. So then I got on Kesimpta, and I was on Kesimpta for about 11 to 14 months, somewhere in that period. And I started developing respiratory infection after respiratory infection after respiratory infection, to the point it eventually put me in the emergency room.
Right.
And then we thought, okay, this isn't working. And we had been suspecting Kesimpta for some time because the respiratory infections would clear up with antibiotics, and then they would come right back with the same intensity. And the antibiotics were terrible. They were just destroying me. So the last stuff I could take was Mavenclad, which is cladribine. And it is also used for small hairy cell leukemia. And basically, the only reason that was the last choice for me is because I'm JC positive, which is a virus that can cause bad things in the brain.
Right. So they check for that before you take it to see
Right.
if you're actually eligible to take it.
Yes. And it was really our only option left. And so I was terrified.
Yeah.
Because, man, this is a legitimate chemo drug, much higher dosages than they'd use for MS. But based on my experience with the last 2 DMTs, I'm like, oh no, here we go again.
Right.
And I think things have gone very well. Some very mild side effects, but nothing like I experienced with everything. But we're early in the game. I'm only 4 months in, right? I might be back here complaining and moaning in another month, going, oh, this is the worst thing in my life. But those videos did really, really well, because this is a similar journey for people. They have to make a really tough decision when they're diagnosed. And I wanted to really focus on bringing that to light. And I think a lot of people feel like they're very lonely in that journey.
Yeah.
Because you're given a bunch of pamphlets and you're sent home and nobody knows what the hell's going on. It's like maybe it's your first time going to a neurologist, or a second or third time, and you don't know anything about this disease. And so, of course, the natural reaction is go to places like Reddit and hear from other patients. Because it's one thing for your doctor to tell you it's the right thing for you, but how is it really working for people that have a family, that have a job, that have all these variables that make taking some of these medications very difficult?
Yeah, definitely. And I've learned a lot from the commenters too on this, where it's like, when we first started talking about Kesimpta, and you're like, you didn't outwardly say this, but you were kind of overtly saying, like, it didn't work for me, right? Like, it didn't work for me, and here's what happened, that sort of thing, which is okay. That was your experience. But somebody said, it's not that it didn't work for you. It's just that you haven't found the right one.
Right.
Yeah. And it's like, and I get that. Like, it's this whole spectrum of, it's like there's a spectrum of the disorder. Doctors wish they knew exactly which medicine would work for you, but there's there's so many choices now, which is like kind of where I always came back to when we were like discussing things, like, wow, we almost have choice overload. And how lucky are we to have these medicines to be able to take for this horrible disease, right? To slow it down. And we were able to kind of have that discussion in the comments section, and I found that really enlightening.
Yeah, that's a good point. And it was really cool to get everybody's perspective. And just to back up 1 second, we talk about the horrible experience with the DMTs, but that's not to say they weren't effective. Like I didn't progress technically according to my MRIs and other tests that we did. I think the DMTs were effective at stopping the progression of the disease at where I was. Now I'm still dealing with all the symptoms. Things still suck. But they were effective. It was just this trade-off between, can you live with the treatment and is it better or worse than the disease, right? And
yeah,
that's the tough
wrapping your
question.
head around that is so hard.
Yeah, and
because you want that pill to be the pill that makes you better.
Yes.
But and I think that that's a very natural thing to be like, okay, cool, you're on medicine, you're better now. And it's like, well, technically, no. I mean, it's a pill to like hopefully slow down the progression of the disease. But it also causes side effects that make your life kind of not great. So it's like, what do you want to do? Do you want to progress further maybe, or do you want to have side effects over here? It's just like, it feels like a never-ending battle between that balance.
Right. Absolutely. It's tough. It's tough. So if you're in that position, just know you're not alone with that. And you got to find what works for you. And the most important thing I think about that is maybe the first and the second one aren't the right ones. And maybe you need to keep pushing to find the right one. I mean, if it makes you completely useless and you feel like crap all the time, maybe it's time to try something else. And I think that was a real struggle for me. It was like, well, do I really want to go off that and try something else that could be worse? And it turned out that I rolled the dice. It worked out a lot better.
So far?
Yeah, so far.
Yeah.
And the interesting thing is like I told my neurologist, I said, yeah, the side effects have been very minimal on my Mavenclad. Like I'm very functional right now for someone with my level of MS.
Yeah.
And he said, yeah, that's been our experience with Mavenclad. I'm like, well, why didn't we start with that? But the risk factors for Mavenclad are much higher than that in terms of negative outcomes.
And they aren't sure if you can't take any medicines after that, right? So like if you started out, at least from my understanding, I don't know if this is true, but like if you started out fresh with just Mavenclad, you couldn't move on. Like if that didn't work for you in 2 years, then you couldn't move on to Ocrevus.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I know there are people that have taken additional rounds of Mavenclad.
Yeah.
But the idea is you take it for 2 weeks a year for 2 years, and then you may never have to do something again, because what it does is it completely reboots your immune system, whereas the other ones kind of attenuate the B cells. They block some of the stuff that's trying to get to them. This is a different animal. And I'll tell you right now, it's very scary to have almost no effective immune system during flu season.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
This is very scary.
Yeah. I feel pretty lucky that we've been very diligent on staying healthy.
Yes.
The Mavenclad thing, if you want to see a really cute video on how Mavenclad works, you should go to the channel and find the Mavenclad video because it's really funny. But I think that it also just illustrates something in a non-clinical way. And that sort of snowballs into the next subject, which is like, what have we done for advocacy? That sort of thing.
Great.
And yeah. And I think that like part of what we've done for advocacy is take these very hard topics, like how does Mavenclad work? How does the immune system work? How does fatigue work? What does it all look like? And you put your creative spin on it, and we're able to like reach people in a different way that's not clinical.
Yes.
I feel like that was a huge part of our 2025 is trying to take those beefy, often emotionally charged topics and turn them into something that was not only informational but fun to watch. So I think you did a really good job on that, especially like the Rudolph one. That's been a hit so far. If you haven't seen that one, go back and watch the Rudolph one, which is about a fatigue simulator.
Yeah. Thank you for making a great Rudolph. It's funny
Oh
because
yeah,
when
I
we
did
started
make
off
that.
with that one, I was like,
Yeah.
oh, let's do this and let's do that. And I'll have like an RC car that runs out of energy. And she's like, yeah, but it's Christmas. Like, what if Rudolph just like ran out of energy? Like he over fatigued from MS.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh,
What if
that's
Rudolph
brilliant.
had MS?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
then you got to work on Rudolph and
Yeah.
you're like, oh, this is it's just the best looking Rudolph I've ever seen. It's really cute. But I think the idea was, let's dig in and use our creativity to give people the tool set and it's a simple tool set. It's a short video they can share with people that don't understand what they're going through with their multiple sclerosis. And we've done a fatigue simulator in the past for Halloween
That
with
was
Fred the
fun.
Skeleton.
Yeah, that was fun.
And the response was overwhelmingly positive. It's like
Yeah.
people are like, I've been trying to describe my fatigue to my family forever, and this finally did it. And the difference in the conversation it wasn't, well, their families are like, well, everybody gets fatigue. Now they're like, oh crap, like when you're out of power, you're out of power.
Mhm.
There's nothing left.
You start with less and you lose it faster.
Yes, it
Yeah.
like just depletes super
Yeah.
fast. So it started conversations with family members that just didn't understand what people with MS were going through. And I think going into 2026, that I think you and I have had discussions. It's really important that we continue to use our creativity and our engineering skill sets to simplify the understanding of MS for people that don't have MS.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard to wrap your brain around it when you have it, let alone somebody adjacent to you, like a loved one. It's so emotionally charged. And if I feel like a lot of people are visual people, they're quick, they want to learn something fast, and these videos are just like the easiest way to really illustrate something in a very different way. And the more we can do that, I think the better off we're going to have this community feel about talking about it.
Yeah. Make it fun to watch, make it educational, and show that our MS community out there is, I mean, I'm going to toot your horn for you. You guys are badass. Like you don't give up easily.
Yeah.
And we're going to bring that to light.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't want to like gloss over and say like every moment is a warrior moment, but
no, absolutely not.
I think that people who struggle with chronic illnesses in general have a deeper sense of empathy, which our world really needs, right? Like,
especially right now.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So like if you struggle with a chronic disease or you have somebody that struggles with a chronic disease, hopefully you've developed a deeper sense of empathy in the world, right? And you want to understand people and care for people. We just need more of that. Like we just do. And you don't have to be a warrior. You don't have to be like, I'm going to push through this and I'm going to do all these things. You could be that, but like really your empathy is valuable. Like, and I think that people with chronic diseases don't see that. It's like, are you kidding me? It's like a superpower.
It really is.
It's a huge superpower.
It is. And it sets you apart in a room. And that's what I've discovered with people that have chronic conditions like multiple sclerosis. It's like, and this sounds weird the way I'm going to say it, but I think it's really important. When I go into a room full of people and there is, I mean, I'm going to say this because it's happened several times. There is a veteran over there and I'm not a veteran. These guys have more guts than I'll ever have. We have something in common. We understand how bad things can be.
On you.
Yeah, they always just kind of culminate around me, and we understand each other. We just don't talk about the stupid stuff, and we focus on things that matter, like family and fun, and the moments we have. And I think that's unique with people with MS in a room, right? Like you'll look around, and if they're walking with a cane or if they're in a wheelchair, they're still smiling.
Yeah.
Because they're there.
Yeah.
And that was a huge accomplishment for anybody that's got this disease.
Huge.
Just showing up is a victory in itself. So that has been something I've noticed in 2025. It's like, even though we bring in like this, oh, poor us, perspective, according to some people, it's more like, no, this is awesome because you don't know how bad it can be.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And
you really savor the moment.
yes.
You know, like, yeah, you really learn what's BS and what's, what life is really about.
Yes.
I think other ways that we tried at least to do like empowerment, videos. I'm like going through the videos now, and it's like, it's beyond like the simulators, but also just having fun with the family. Remember the MS Survivor challenge?
Yeah, that was a good time. That was definitely a good time.
we had this crazy idea. Because we're obsessed with Survivor. Okay, I know it's old school, but like we're obsessed with Survivor, and we're like, well, what if we did Survivor but with MS, like a MS challenge where Cliff put us through all like Cliff put Gavin, our son, and I through all kinds of challenges to simulate what it's like to have brain fog, to have fatigue, to not remember things,
balance issues.
We did I think 2 episodes. And you know what? Like, I don't think it was our most watched videos, but it was certainly a ton of fun. And it got Gavin involved, and he had a ton of fun with that too. So, I mean, like, that's a part of empowerment too. Like having fun with it, all of your inventions. Do you remember the inventions you did last year for MS?
I did the automatic pants puller upper.
Okay, that was hilarious because this guy, he's very inventive, and I walk out into the living room one day, and all of a sudden he has these 2 pipes with like all kinds of things hanging off of it, like some weird hooks. And like, what did you use? Like, you used like some sort of lift. Oh, it was a lift from a bed.
Yeah, it was a linear actuators, if you want to be technically dorky about it.
Dork.
Yes.
And I'm like, I like walked away. I'm like, I don't even want to know what's going on. And he's like, what? Don't you want to see my pants putter on her? And I was like, okay. And that video actually did really well because it's hilarious. And also it addressed a problem. It is hard to bend down and put on your pants and your socks and your shoes when you have MS.
Yeah. And that's where the idea came from. I have a friend who's a cyclist with me, and he's had MS for a long time. And I called him one morning and I said, hey, you want to go on a ride? He's like, I can't go on a ride today. I can't even put my pants on. He's like, I can't reach down. If I go down, I can't get back up.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, I kind of had that experience many, many times early in the morning. And I thought, man, it's a long way down to your pants.
Yep.
When you can hardly move. And so that's what kind of pushed the idea that like we need an automatic pants putter on her, because of all the items of clothing we have, everything is like, shoes are pretty easy, right? Like you can slip into shoes.
Yeah, if
socks
you have the right shoes.
Kind of suck, but socks are somewhat optional. Pants are not really optional. Kind of need to wear those most of the time, especially if you want to stay employed, I believe, some places. And jackets, you can hang those up at shoulder level and you're fine. But the pants have always been a problem.
You figured it out. I will say that it did work that first couple times. It did take up an unreasonable amount of space.
And well, it was a very dirty prototype, but we got through it. The pants went on, and I could think of a million ways to make that better. But the point is,
we had a lot of fun.
We had fun.
And it's just a different way to talk about the struggles of having MS, right? Yeah. And all of, and that was just one angle. You did something hilarious with the cooling suit.
Oh, yes.
During the summer, as a lot of you know, people with MS struggle with heat, and it drives this man crazy. Poor guy, because he loves to be outdoors, but he can't be outdoors in the summertime. So what did he do?
I took the indoors outdoors.
You spent an enormous amount of time trying to figure this out, and it was so ridiculous. Like, your prototypes were so funny. Like, at one time he had these like straws that like plastic, and he went to Home Depot like 18 times to try and like figure out how to get like a helmet. And then I was like, why don't we just do those blow up costumes?
Which worked really well with a cooling vest and those silly inflatable costumes. It's like you bring your environment with you.
Yes.
And that worked out really well. You know, and the thing is like, you think, man, a lot of these like stupid ideas take a ridiculous amount of energy. Well, during the summer, I can't go out and do anything. So I'm stuck inside.
Yep.
And if I'm not building something, I am going bananas. And I know there's a lot of people with MS that are in the same situation. So I'd at least like to think that combined, we can make people laugh that are stuck inside during the summer.
Yeah. I mean, if all else fails, just laugh about it.
Yes.
Yeah. That's just how we live life.
Yeah. That's all we have left.
Things get so ridiculous and we're just like, you know what? Let's just laugh about it and just try and make each other laugh as much as possible, because when it comes down to it, that's all you can do sometimes.
Yep.
Yeah. I just think that's so funny. I think personal wins, though, like outside of the MS world, you have some big personal wins.
2025 was good. And I got a lot of inspiration from the people in this community that watch this channel. I see what they do and I see how they live. And I think what I learned was like, we all have our constraints, right? Like we've learned how to live with our constraints, and they are frustrating and they are sad. And I think there's a natural tendency to look back at how we used to be.
Oh yeah.
And that is super depressing. And
there's a mourning period for sure.
I think about it all the time. I think, man, I used to ride my bike all the time, and I used to be able to like walk right and not pee my pants and stuff like that. But that makes things really difficult. And so I think in 2025, we focused on, let's look at let's reevaluate and recategorize wins. And here comes the kid.
That's okay.
The kid's coming in, so the dogs are barking. And so the idea was like, we had to rethink what a win was. And so a win was, and I talk about it in one of my videos. It's like, you guys went to a water park. It was like 90 degrees that day. And I had to say, no, I can't do that. I normally would be super bummed about that, but I had to think about it. And I'm actually by opting out, I am saving you guys from dragging along someone who's going to be a total killjoy, because I feel terrible when I'm in that weather. And, I can't fake it, right? Like you guys know me. I can probably fake it around people that don't know me for a reasonable amount of time. You can
fake it for an hour.
Yeah.
That's what you have in you.
That's what I have in me if it's like above 80 degrees.
Yeah.
But what I learned was like, it's okay to say no.
Yeah.
And
not feel guilt about it.
And not feel guilt. And that took time. That took time to like be okay with telling people no and not feeling guilty about it.
Yeah.
Because I want to be able to do everything. I want to be like I used to be, and it's not realistic. So the wins started there. And by doing that, that opened up new opportunity. And while you guys were at the parks sweating your butts off and having a great time, Gavin's having a great time, and you're doing summer things, I got to work on the NASA projects.
Yes.
And that I'm sitting in the air conditioner, working on my CAD, building my prototypes, doing all that stuff. And it's keeping my mind busy.
Describe to people what this NASA projects are.
Okay. So NASA does a thing called NASA Tournament Labs, and it's basically a crowdsourced innovation platform, right? Like you go in there, they've come up with challenges that they're facing right now. Like there's Artemis 2 mission that's starting. We're trying to go on the moon and colonize the moon. In fact, the first mission is launching here in, I think, like 25 days or something. And there's all these really unique challenges about the moon, right? Everything in the moon is like nothing on Earth, obviously. And everything on the moon is trying to kill everything on it because it's not meant to support life. And so we have to design around all these things. And if you change one thing, it totally compromises everything else in these designs. So it's very difficult. So NASA got smart and they're like, well, we need to think outside of our box, and we need to open this up to global innovation and see what people that don't have like hardcore engineering backgrounds come up with, like people that are just super creative. Or maybe they do have some engineering background. And they did that. And I think it was very successful. And I talked to Andrew about it. I said, maybe I should do this. Like I'm not a NASA level engineer. I build crazy stuff, but I'm not at that level. And so I did it, and I submitted the first invention, which was an invention to save a stranded astronaut during the first lunar surface exploration. And we were awarded a prize for that because
Yeah.
it was a design they were looking for. It had some of the components they were looking for, and they basically take all these things and they make an amalgamy of them, and maybe it will make parts of that design will make it to the moon. Who knows?
Which is crazy to think that like something that you did because you couldn't be out playing with us turned into something that could end up on the moon.
Yeah,
Like,
that's pretty crazy.
hello, that's insane.
Yes.
That's totally crazy for you to be able to turn that moment that was hard for you into something so unique. You know, I think that's just, it's amazing. And then he didn't do it once, he did it twice.
Yeah, and I haven't talked about this on the show yet, but this is recent, as of last Thursday.
Yeah.
Our second project, which was redesigning a wheel for lunar rovers and lunar chariots. And you think it's a wheel, like how hard can it be? Well, it turns out really, really freaking hard because the moon just doesn't function like anything on Earth, like I mentioned. And it basically, what we're trying to do now for the missions is make it to where we can have a high speed transportation system up there, because the environment is such that anything we put up there doesn't last very long. So if we have everything go really, really slow, we don't make it very far, right?
Right.
And so what we're trying to do is create high speed components that allow us to get further from where we've landed, to do more exploration and to get back. To put that in context, our current Mars rovers, their top speed is less than a mile an hour. And NASA's like, well, since we're sending a manned mission to the moon, they've got to be able to get around quickly. We need them to be able to do like 15 miles an hour. Now, 15 miles an hour in 1/6 gravity on unpaved surfaces that are literally shards of glass, because there's no erosion on the moon, because there's no wind and there's no water. It just destroys everything. And so NASA put that out to the community. And they said, what can you guys come up with? And we came up with what I thought was a pretty fun idea. You agree? We kind of brainstormed on it. We built it. We prototyped it. And we sent it in, and they awarded us
best engineering
excellence.
Yeah, engineering excellence. So we won another one. And yet again, you were holed up in the house not doing anything because you had just started Mavenclad.
That's right.
And Mavenclad was wiping out your system, and we were very afraid of you getting sick, and we still are. But but that was yet another MS forced you to do something else that was actually kind of amazing, you know. And
I don't know if it was forced. It gave me an opportunity, right? It gave me the opportunity to focus on something other. The project gave me an opportunity to focus on something other than my MS.
Right.
And that was absolutely core for me feeling better in 2025, right?
Yeah.
Like feeling like I was kind of I was no longer battling MS. I am now more functionally living with MS. And I think there's a turning point there, right?
Yeah.
Right. Like and I've talked about this before. It's like a deadbeat cousin, like his family. You can't really get rid of him, but at the same point, there are boundaries you have to have with that person.
Right.
The same thing with the disease. And so my boundaries are like, okay, MS, I'm not going to go out and party with you in the middle of summer because you're going to be a total jerk and ruin my day. But if you want to sit down with me and help me figure out some of NASA's most difficult problems with lunar exploration, you're welcome to come along. And MS is like, hell yeah, I'm in.
Yeah.
So we worked on it.
You worked together.
Yeah. And we managed to make it work. And the great thing about like working in computer-aided design and NASA programs, everything's well documented. So my cog fog wasn't really an issue because I could go back and look at everything I did the day before because I was meticulous about the documentation. Right. And I mean, that's key to engineering, right? Like track your steps, identify your follies, and make improvements. And that's where MS doesn't really affect me because I get to build a roadmap.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whereas if you ask me to memorize a speech,
or show up to an event and participate in a meaningful conversation
for more than 30 minutes.
Yeah. You're definitely,
But hi, everybody. We got 4 people watching right now. Good to see everyone.
And I think that actually transitions us into invisible wins, although that was kind of an invisible win, but I would like to hear from the community as well. Like those things that aren't so like flashy, right? That you were able to accomplish, even if it's something as silly as like, well, that you might think is silly. Like, I don't know, like I was able to like cook dinner and not burn myself.
Yes.
Like those types of things. I think I would love to hear from the community, but also what were your like invisible wins that like a normal person would be like, that's not a win, that's just life.
Right.
Right.
Okay. So one of my big invisible wins, and I don't know why this is happening at this point. I don't know if there's a lesion resolving in my spine or not. But one of my big invisible wins is like last year and the year before that, I was pissing the bed like every night. Like I was trying everything. I'm wearing diapers. I'm like waterproofing the bed. Nothing was working. And just the second I fell asleep, the faucet would turn on and I had no control. And then I would be peeing myself during the day. And just like my whole system from chest down just seemed to be deteriorating. Right. And that was really, really scary. It's also one of the reasons like we looked at Mavenclad and thought like, we can't sit on this any longer. We've got to do something. So one of my invisible wins there was like, that has, for the most part, stopped. And I don't know if it's because I adjusted my lifestyle to where I'm not exposing myself to the level of heat that I used to. Like now I'm staying inside and I'm engineering things, right?
I mean,
I'm getting better sleep for the most part, except I didn't sleep last night. But I'm saying no to things that I know are going to trigger my MS and push me out of my zone of control.
Right.
And the problem is like, I want to be able to do just what I want to be able to do.
Right. Just off the cuff, say yes to things, right?
So by not going to the water park with you guys, did I save myself from pissing myself for 3 days straight? Maybe.
100%. I think you did.
Think, right? Yeah. Like, I don't know. But so that's an invisible win. I think what I'm doing now is helping.
Yeah.
And I'm attributing it to making smarter decisions about what I do during the day based on what I think the outcomes are going to be with my MS. And as limiting as that feels, there are other opportunities that opens up. Like I know if I'm not going to be pissing myself everywhere, then, there are other things we can do.
Right. Yeah. Do you remember when you would try and go on like little vacations with us? And there was that like, we have to bring waterproof everything because you would pee in a hotel room, or, like all of those things. And we'd have to have like we'd have to bring so much stuff for you.
I was like sleeping in the bathtub. I'm like, we can't pay for another hotel bed. So I'm just going to sleep in the bathtub or something.
I hate to call you out on that, but
no,
but that's like one of those things where you had an opportunity this year to like go with us for my birthday to Dollywood.
Mm-hmm.
And you were like, I'm just going to ruin the whole time. Like, I'm going to overdo it. Everybody's going to have to cater to me.
Yep.
And
not going to do it.
As much as we were like really missing you, we were also understood, like we understood the mission, right? Like if you were there, you would be miserable.
Yes.
And that was, I think, an invisible win for all of us, actually, like understanding how to be a good caregiver and also how to be a good caregivee and set expectations. I think our expectation setting this year was pretty awesome.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like I really had to think about, and that comes back to the Mavenclad, right? Like we had these discussions where it's like, if I don't do something about my condition, how in the long run is it going to affect you and Gavin? Because it's already affecting you guys a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So with that thinking, we applied that to a lot of our situations this year. And yeah, I did miss going to those places and hanging out with the family. It would have been super fun. You guys went to the Outer Banks. Oh man, I love that place.
Oh, that's right. You missed that too.
I missed that too.
You missed a lot of stuff, but
that was because of an infection in my tooth.
That's right.
Oral surgery, which was causing other symptoms, which might have been MS related. Whatever, doesn't matter. Yeah, I think we got a better hold of things. Hi. Oh. Hi, Fan Death. I like that. Good morning. Thank
Good
you.
morning.
What does the little crown mean with the number 1?
That means
I'm
the
still learning
first
all
to
this.
comment.
Oh,
Yeah.
congratulations. Thank you so much for commenting. So yeah, so there's been some invisible wins. Now I have you. Can I turn it over and ask people?
Yeah, we want to hear what your invisible wins are. Live, if not live, then put them in the comments of the recording of this, because I think that acknowledging those things is really important moving into the new year, right? Like you're taking your wins and you're using that as momentum for the new year.
And it's easy to forget those wins. I found
It
myself
sure
having to
is.
write those down.
Yeah.
Right. Like, and
Yeah.
I go back and I look at some of the videos we shot earlier in the year and I'm like, oh, I said that. Why am I not doing that now? And then I start re-implementing those things.
Yeah.
And it's like, I think the first video I shot in 2025, I talked about no being the new yes for MS for me, right? Like,
yeah.
I was ready to say no to people, which means I open myself to say yes to other opportunities that I can do with my current condition.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, one other thing you didn't mention that I just realized, a big accomplishment this year, you reached 1,000 subscribers on this
That was
channel,
huge.
which is a big deal. It starts to unlock like the money earning possibilities.
Yes.
So thank you guys. Thank
Yeah.
you to our subscribers for sticking with us. Small channels are not easy to build, and we want to take that into the future for sure.
Absolutely. Thank you to everybody out there. I think, and it's more than just about the number of people. It's about the quality of the people that are, I mean, when we put up a video, we'll get 20, 30, earlier when it's something about like an DMT or something, 20, 30, 40 comments, and so much valuable information in there from the community.
Yes.
It's not just my experience. My channel went from me just moaning and groaning about my disease and my initial DMTs to really a conversation about how we support each other.
Yeah.
And
how do we live with this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's so many great little snippets of like incredibly valuable information that people leave. Just it keeps me inspired. Even on my worst days, she sees me, I'm like struggling to even just get out of bed. And then we're like, we're going to do something goofy for the channel today. And we're going to bring to light some certain symptom that's driving you crazy. And then I look at what people have commented on before, and it just is very motivating.
Yeah, it really is motivating. And sometimes I'm like, well, why don't you just not work today? And you're like, no, you really feel passionate about doing this. And I totally get it. It's a really awesome, I love it too. I think it's great, and we're just going to take all of the things that we learned this year from all of you, and we're going to amp it up, in the new year.
Yeah.
What does she say?
Let's see. Oh, it's Mystical Dreamfire. Hey.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about. Supportiveness. Yes. I totally agree.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We can't do it alone.
And thank you, Mystical Dreamfire. You've been just such a huge part of the community over the past year. We see all your comments. We talk about them all the time. So thank you very much for being, a dynamic component. I think that's really cool.
Yeah, it is really cool. And I just love how diverse the whole experience has been and just how interesting people are. I just love talking to different people and learning about different people. So we're going to take that into 2026.
Definitely.
And I don't know. I mean, maybe write a comment if you want to see, like, I don't know, different topics, like how to travel with MS, or like how to approach different situations, living with MS. I think I would love to hear from the community on that.
Yeah, they all have really great information.
Yeah.
And just one more key point on that. She talks about, she just mentioned that there are some days that I just insist on doing content, regardless of how crappy I'm feeling. And I've talked about this before on the channel. And here's what's just so cool about the community. It's like, I don't have to pretend like I'm feeling great when I'm talking to you guys, right? Like, you know exactly what I'm going through. And I love that. I don't have to explain myself. I can talk about other things, but at the same time, I sit there and trip over my words. I can like have a lazy eye. I can barely get words out of my mouth. I could be like nodding off and the whole thing. And it's just so cool to know that like I have a community of people out there I can communicate with, that it's kind of like talking to you. It's like 1,000 yous. Like, right? Like you know exactly what I'm trying to say, and you're looking past the stupid quirkiness of my symptoms.
Yeah, there's some days where you look like hammered poop.
Oh.
And I'm like, are you sure you would have? And you're like, nope, this is how it is. And I'm like, you're right. Just show it like it is.
Yeah.
Don't try and cover it up, right?
Absolutely. Like right now, my nose is running. I can feel it dripping off my nose. So I'm just going to go over. Don't look at me. Oh, here he is. It's really cold up here. We're still working on this like heating situation, but
better than hot.
Yeah, better than hot. You know, it's like yesterday it was 48 degrees up here in the studio. I was totally happy. I like had my shirt off. I'm like, oh, this is nice. Okay, so anyway, so thank you all for all that great support. All right, so let's move on because she's got so many things here, but they're all great.
I just wanted to briefly touch on the bad advice Hall of Fame for the year.
I love this one
because like you get advice, unsolicited advice all the time.
You got a lot when I wasn't around.
I got a lot more than I get a lot more. I think caregivers are exposed to this more because people feel more comfortable telling the caregiver than they do the person who's has an illness. So I did get a lot, but like the Hall of Fame, what do you think for you is the Hall of Fame? Bad advice.
Gosh.
or like it's pandering advice.
I mean they all kind of bleeds together.
Apathetic advice.
My favorite one for 2025 was I was at one of my son's games and it was hot out. It was really hot. And I'm wearing my ice vest and I got my cane because like nothing is functioning on me. I'm trying just to keep from like pissing my pants during the game and becoming the point of focus. At the same time, I'm one of the coaches, right? Like
another thing you signed up for that you shouldn't have. And we didn't do that this year.
Yeah. However, what we learned, we moved it to basketball, which was indoors during the winter. That helped. I'm not going to do soccer again because that's outside here in North Carolina and it is crazy hot. Anyway, and so I've got all this stuff on, right? And I'm just trying to get through this game. Really, the kids are having a great time. And of course, like my eye is starting to go blurry. I'm starting to like not be able to see anything. I don't know really what's going on this side of the field. And the kids are talking to me. And of course, the cog fog sets in. And I'm like, I don't even know what they're trying to do at this point, right? Like, I know they're playing a game, but I don't know like where the ball is supposed to be going. Like the cog fog was getting bad. It was like 95 degrees that day or something. I'm thinking we just need to get out of this heat. And one of the parents comes up and says to me, did you just see that play? I said, well, I'm not really seeing much because I can't really see out of my eye right now. And they said, oh, did you have eye surgery? I said, no, I got this thing called multiple sclerosis. And they said, of course, wait for it.
What is it?
My aunt has that, but she died from it.
That's not advice, though. That's just being insensitive.
And I thought, okay, and how exactly is that going to help this situation? I said, would you like to coach? And they said, no, we don't know anything about soccer. And I said, well, neither do I, but the kids are having fun.
I'm still here with a cane, half blind and a nice vest on, and you can't coach.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
That was really funny. That's the most memorable one that I thought was interesting, but you're right, it didn't have the solution to it.
Yeah.
But the other one that I did receive that I thought was really good was sweat it out.
Yeah, yes. I was going to mention that one.
Yeah.
That was going to be mine.
Yes.
Because that was given to me to give to you.
Yes.
The advice.
I love that one.
Stop taking the medications, get outside and work out and sweat it out in the heat.
Sweat out your MS, people.
Sweat out your MS. And it took every fiber in my being to not lose it. However, I feel like this year has been a growth year for me. I still do struggle with people saying dumb things and me wanting to snap back at them. But I think I've come up with, and this could be helpful for everybody, I think I've come up with a universal phrase that is a tad bit snarky, which makes me feel a little bit happy.
You snarky? No.
A tad bit snarky.
You're snarky?
Snarky, but also diffuses the situation and it sets a boundary, right? And I just said this the other day,
Okay, what is it?
actually, which is, if only it were that easy.
Oh,
If
you
only it was
did.
that easy.
Yes.
And that shuts people down in the most polite, bless your heart kind of way that you could possibly do it. If you know what I'm talking about, if you're from the South, you know, bless your heart. Somebody says bless your heart, you are in deep trouble.
Yes.
So,
If you are in Texas and somebody if someone tells you bless your heart, it's essentially them telling you go F yourself.
yeah.
That's
So
we
I've
lived
come
in
up with my
Texas.
own version of that, which is, if only it were that easy.
Yes.
And or I wish it was that easy. You know, there's some variations of it. And I think that that's the I bless your heart, you know, sort of thing. And so far it's worked. So I'm taking that into 2026.
Okay, I like that. I'm just gonna keep with the laughing. Like when someone says something totally stupid to me, I can't help but to laugh, especially when it's hot out and I'm having cog fog.
Yeah.
And I used to just absolutely lose my mind on them.
Yeah.
But I realized that like you just can't really berate a stupid person. They don't get it. And I realize some people they just don't know what else to say and they're just trying to help. But it does come off offensive after a while. But I'm
It's
trying to
taxing.
redirect that into
Yeah.
a haha, that's yeah, okay, I'll try that. I've done that so many times this year. Oh yeah, I'll try that.
Oh,
Just to end the
wow.
conversation.
My doctor never told me about that one.
Yeah, no.
Wow, he must be in with Big Pharma.
Definitely.
Anyway, so I mean, really, that was the last topic of the Hall of Fame of bad things that were said in 2025. But I really just wanted to end this on congratulating you for really growing this year and to thanking the audience for showing up and, you know, commenting and subscribing and liking and sharing this small but growing channel and buying t-shirts.
Oh, that's been huge.
Yeah, and buying t-shirts at curewithcomedy.com. Shipping is free. And we
new designs coming out almost weekly.
New designs almost weekly, designed by me, American made. I just want to congratulate you.
Thank you.
You've really turned a corner.
Well,
I think
it's because of the community and it's because of you. Like we have a good support system. It's like Mystical Dreamfire says here, supportiveness. That's what it's about.
It is.
It's getting over the fact that I don't feel so alone anymore, right?
Yeah.
Like I know when I'm busting my butt to make this content, or you and I are working on a piece of content, as hard as it might be, as hard as that day might be, it is not about me.
Right.
It is about us, and we are doing something that has value, and that's what keeps me going, and it's just been really great. I'm in Canada, sadly. However, your shirts are awesome. Oh, Canadian shirts. Maybe we need to make some Canadian
I
shirts.
could probably figure out the weird tax situation.
Yeah.
Because Canada was going to be my next market for t-shirts, because I think that there are suppliers in Canada that would help that happen.
Yes.
So good
or at
to
least
know.
distributors.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
We'll make it happen, and we will let you know as soon as we find out, right?
Yeah, definitely. And thank you for mentioning that, because the more people that say that, the more likely I'm able to push through and figure it out.
Yes.
So.
And thank you for that. Andrea's
Yeah.
been just so key to making everything work. And I think it was about like 6 months ago, you said, you know what? I should be the producer and I should start some of the sales channels to help us support the channel. And you should be the bald guy on YouTube talking about MS. And I said, that sounds like a really good idea.
That's always been our dynamic, though,
Yeah.
since we were married. I was always the producer and you were always the talent, or, you know, we switched off, but I'm a really good producer.
She is very good. She's got vision.
Born to be a producer. Anyway, I truly, though, sincerely want to thank everybody for being the first 1,000 subscribers. That's a huge accomplishment. And just for making us feel like we're not so alone on this journey.
That's really, really big. And we promise to keep you laughing in 2026. Maybe we'll help educate in some way, but at least entertain. And we'll continue to grow as a couple, as individuals, and as a community. And I'm really looking forward to that.
All right. So your last line of the show is going to be what?
Well, it's my usual. I'm Cliff. This is Life with MS. This is Andrea.
Oh, I'm Andrea.
And what are we? We are out in 3. Ready? In 1, 2, 3. Good job.